Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd show you a preview of this Albatross-IGS, which stands for Imperial Gunship. And I got it, I believe, 100% complete right now. However, it's possible I might try to do a last minute mod to it yet and kind of rebalance a little bit of the thruster speeds. Um, but on this particular version here, I outfitted it with all the weapons I think it ought to have for their price and effectiveness in game. Like it's essentially designed to spawn in and start using it right away without needing to change anything at all on it. So it's weapon configuration that I came to be with. Oh, one last thing before I get into this, I'll talk about an update on my cat here in a little bit here too. I just wanted to cover this. If you're following I did make mention my cat had one of my cats had a issue. I'll tell you how that's coming out in a second here. As in the weapon loadout, it's running 4 laser cannons and 6 positron beam turrets over here, which I think would be pretty good to take out enemy shields in the range ship that it's kind of meant to go after. Beyond that, it has 7 rocket turrets meant to do some decent hull damage to the actual ship you're attacking after the shields are out. Then it has 3 minigun turrets on it. There's 2 in the back over here, mainly kind of set up to cover the backside of the ship, and another one of those minigun turrets is on the bottom out in this location here to again try to just shoot some drones and stuff maybe that are lingering around the bottom side of the ship. But the minigun turrets are not meant to actually engage onto the enemy CV that you're attacking. That's pretty much the rocket, positron, and your laser cannon. I thought about plasma, but again, it's a balancing act with CPU, and these are all like the MK1 versions or the Tier 1 versions of the weapons as well. And there's definite room for upgrades in here. As in its shield strength stock, it's not to full capacity. So the shield stock would be 30,250. Now it is lacking right now due to CPU again 2 medium shield parts that are meant to be banks. If they're both installed into the ship, then then it actually gets into 60,000 shield. Let me just take a tour through the inside here. I know you've seen this part before. I think I tweaked a couple things here and there. Add a couple textures to add this little thing to put some module parts in for your armor. But you got your full medical bay, all your specialized equipment in there. O2 and med bay there. You got a toilet on the one side and a shower on the other side, kind of in this weird little wall configuration here. Everything's on sensors, so this door will automatically open up when you come over there. Same thing with the side doors on it. You have locations to add up to 3 more constructors or deconstructors in here. It's running 2 320K storage bays, 2 320K ammo bays. They actually are the correct numbers. I checked that, double checked it a couple times. These doors over here will also open up, ramps will go down once you step down into this area here. You have 2 different kind of engineering rooms. The first room here and your central elevator right here. First room is basically holding 8 small shield parts, so a balance between both types of 4 each. And then it's running 4 medium shield parts. Again, a balance between 2 charges, 2 banks, but it was really meant to have that other set of banks back over here, which would bring that shield up to 60,000. It does have a rear Wi-Fi, also has a front Wi-Fi in it as well. If you go upstairs here to the next floor, this area here is all new. I just got this kind of completed last night, actually. So it's got all the main CPU cores in here for Core 9 setup. You got your 5 advanced on one side. The other side, you've got your basic and 2 improved. Do have some additional generators over here, some smaller generators. This was just needed as in if you have all the shield parts in here, the 2 big generators it does have back in this engineering room wasn't quite enough. It was getting a little too close or going over 100% in certain maneuvers while charging the shield, and that's why I put in those other ones. Now with those 2 other medium shield parts in here, that might not be the case, but if you wanted to add them, which I probably would in game, due to literally like doubling the shield strength, you'd need those generators in place. And since there's such a weird location where I've got them, I just decided to leave them in their stock. I didn't want to try to explain where they need to go. That's kind of again a strange location to put generators. It does have a gravity generator over in this side room over here as well. I didn't really want to put a gravity generator in this area, but I could not fit it in the engineering areas, which I really tried to do, but it just was not going to work out anyway. I tried it. It does have some cargo boxes up over here on the ceiling as well. A little bit of asymmetrical stuff going on in this room at least, but for the most part, this ship is very symmetrical. And that kind of covers the ship on where it's at right now. Again, I might try to deal with some thruster speeds a little bit. Take a look at the numbers here. Right now it's doing 91 forward, 23 strafing, 51 lift, 46 reverse, 46 down. In comments, it was suggested that it would be kind of nice to have a little more strafing thrust. I agree, and I think I have a bit of an imbalance where I've got probably more thrust forward than you need and not enough on strafing. So it's possible I may mod this a little bit and maybe cut a couple of these thrusters off the back, or I'll leave them so you can still put them back in place, but actually use some of that CPU to, I found kind of a location where I could get some smaller strafing thrusters in, like right behind this turret over here, where they would kind of butt up to the back of this, where you can put a constructor. So I might do that to try to get the strafing number up higher than where it is, and then reduce the forward thrust speeds down a little bit, but allow you to put them back in place after the fact. I think that would be the best way to go, because again, yeah, I would kind of want a little more strafing thrust than what it has. Other than that, it has no power issues flying this thing around. It's quite agile. Feels light. Feels good, like you're flying around a SB. You kind of see the general maneuverability of it. Again, not a huge amount of strafing thrust though, and which could really come in handy for combat situations. So it's kind of why I wanted to get a little more on there than what it has right now, at least. But other than that, everything checks out. The storage bays are all correct. It has O2 in all parts of the ship. Of course, I feel like I'm missing a couple textures here and there, or something like this here. I keep on finding little issues like this, where it's like I thought I had this right, and that's supposed to be actually this tone, and right there as well. Hold on, gotta fix that. Yeah, see, this side's that way. It's just a lot of these texture problems that I ran into are due to symmetry things. When you're in symmetry and you texture one side, it may not come out that way on the other side, and then I keep on finding those a little bit after the fact. But for the most part, I think it's ready. Now, as in people that don't want it with this loadout, it's a little tricky. I'm debating on how much I want to do with that, because I mean, really the only thing I could do is another version of the ship, and I didn't really want to do that. And then if there's the other can of worms would be, vanilla players. Obviously it has Reforged Eden parts on it, such as the shield pieces and some of the weapons on it, like the positrons. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with that right now. I'm kind of steering towards, like, if you want it in different configurations, it won't be that hard in creative mode to adjust it to that configuration. I refrain from using any other Reforged Eden parts short of the shields and the positron. So I didn't put in any of the deco pieces or the Reforged Eden only lighting or any of that stuff, just to keep it. So if you did want to use this in vanilla, it would be a pretty easy switch. Again, you'd have to remove the 6 positron guns, you'd have to remove the shield parts, and then you would want to remove all the cores except for probably 4 advanced CPU cores, unless you removed enough other stuff where it was below that, I believe 1.5 million CPU to keep it at a tier 3 level. But again, there's so many different options on how people may or may want the ship. It's impossible to please everyone without a lot of variants of the ship. and I don't really like to do the variants so much. So on this one, there's also a lot of people that wanted it to come stock with all the weaponry and be ready to use as soon as you spawn it in, and that's kind of where it's at right now, and kind of how I was viewing it. So yeah, that is pretty much the take on it. Again, I may try to get those strafing numbers up and reduce the forward thrust numbers a little bit before I do release it, which I think would be a little beneficial as well to the ship and overall combat abilities. But let me know what you think about the weapon configuration. I think I'm doing it pretty decent from what I know, but and I can't really get into the tier 2 weaponry on this. Too much CPU usage and things like that. So I know there's a lot better guns, and that's just stuff you could update after the fact. It does have locations inside the ship in this engineering area to add another like 6 quantum or auxiliary CPU cores to it. And you would want to add probably one of those, like an aux core, and then you could pop in the 2 other medium shield parts, something I would want to do in game as soon as I could to get that shield up to 60,000, which I think would make combat a little bit easier yet. Other than that, it's a hit and run kind of ship. It's not meant to tank anything. It's shield dependent combat setup. It does have a bit, although the entire hull is pretty much built out of carbon substrate, in the back area it probably has about 8-10 blocks that are hardened steel, and that's mainly if you have to get away from combat. Say your shield was holding out okay, and then all of a sudden you got smacked with something that just wasted your shield, and you're like, uh-oh, evac time, and you're trying to fly away. The last thing I wanted to happen was a really nasty, like say you get hit in the back here, and then it obviously gets right into engineering. There's fuel tanks, there's generators, there's all kinds of explodies back here. Last thing I wanted to have is like just something light hit you and the whole ship, it blows up the whole backside of the ship. So that's why I really felt I needed to reinforce this area back over here to some extent. It's better than nothing. It's just hardened steel blocks. It can't take a whole lot, but my best recommendations would be to be careful and keep close tabs on your shield and whatnot, and hopefully it works. Again, it's not trying to be a high-end combat ship. It's just trying to be kind of what the challenge was for. It's a Core 9 combat ship, and I believe the challenge was kind of like steering towards it being ready to fight at a Core 9 level, as opposed to like the Creel Sega one. That one is kind of, it's a Core 9 ship stock, but I wouldn't really say it's ready to fight at Core 9 level. It needs a lot of upgrades to really get it into a nice combat setup. Where this one, I just kind of wanted it to be that way already. So anyway, that is the rundown on the ship. Again, I should get it out to the workshop tomorrow. Might be modded with a little bit better strafing thrust by then as well. I think I got that worked out. Once I get some time, I'll try to do that little mod thing and see what I can do with that. So as in one other topic too, I brought up that I had a sick kitty. Kitty went to the vet Tuesday. Kitty has a problem with its thyroid, and the numbers were really high. I have medication for that. So the cat had, or Bandit, I'll say, had his first 3 doses of this medicine, which I kind of incorporated in some canned food that he didn't really notice. And then after that, he got after that 3rd dose, you have to give him this every 12 hours. He puked badly, and then he got diarrhea, and then he got really really dead to the ground sick again. And that went on most of yesterday as well. This morning he's feeling better. I got to call into the vet to see if I should continue with that medication, and I'll kind of a waiting answer on that one there. So other than that, the cat is 16 and a half years old, so he's pretty old. I don't think, even at this with the medication, if he can handle it, it's probably it's something that's not going to go away. It's something that is kind of permanent. It's not like I can give him like a month worth of this medicine and then the problem's gone. And he's frail. He's very frail right now, very lethargic, and I don't know. It's been kind of a worrying time this week for sure. Especially, I really hate seeing my kitty I had from a little kitten in my hand to be sick and not feeling well. However, it was encouraging this morning that he greeted me this morning and wanted to be fed. He didn't eat very much. He's stopped with the puking. I think he stopped with the diarrhea now, which was not exactly fun either. And well, he seems better for the time, but that's kind of the state of it. It's been kind of a rough week with that. My other cat, Shadow, I believe kind of understands that Bandit's sick as well, and he's acting a little different right now too. He's been hanging around, but he almost stopped eating too, and he's totally healthy, so no issues with Shadow. He's also younger, only about 12 years old on Shadow. So I don't know, just a weird time, kind of sad. I don't think there's going to be necessarily a happy ending on it. I want to make sure that Bandit kind of perks back into life and enjoys his time. And if he's continually sick, and I keep on trying to force feed him this medicine that he's kind of rejecting, yeah, I probably have to take other actions. But it's kind of a wait and see how things go right now. So just an update on that. If you own an animal, I'm sure it's they are part of the family, and you treat them like a family member, and it's sad. So other than that, that's all I've got for this, and I'll try to get this out to the workshop tomorrow. And you all have yourself a great weekend. I will talk to you later.